I've picked up a Gameboy Advance SP in blue, as you can see. The seller said, he was quite honest, he said it will not charge. He wasn't quite altogether truthful. He did leave out the fact that it had been water damaged. So this is a little bit more than a dead battery. I'd like to shout out to Vince. I almost gave up. I came across one of Vince's videos which put us on the right path. Thank you, Vince, for that. I hope you enjoy this one. It's a little bit longer and I made a right mess of it. So I've got the Game Boy Advance plugged into the charger. We'll switch this on and see if it charges the battery. So it's on 5 volts, but it's not taking any amps, which means that the battery is not charging. Which makes us question, is there a battery inside? Let's turn that off and have a check. So there is a battery inside. That's not a good sign. We've got some water damage. So I have I think it's a TP4056. I could be wrong. And we're going to use that. So we'll tape the battery down. Now the charging light's gone to red and we've got 0.05 of an amp going into the battery at the moment. So now we've got 0.78 of an amp going into the battery. So we'll let that charge up. I've reset the counter to 0. We'll see how many amp hours goes into the battery. So we're going to leave that and let that charge up. That's still charging. It's 0.18. I think we'll test that. We have a charging light. And we have the screen on. Try again. We'll see if it plays again. The Nintendo logos came up. And it's not playing again. I've got some WD-40 contact cleaner, which will do a quick spray in there. And put the game in and out a few times. Nope. What's happened there? What's the red light for? Is that a low battery light? I wonder. While we're on, we'll see if the charging, if it will try and charge the battery now that the battery's got some life into it. And I have this connected up, but the charging light hasn't turned orange. So there must be a problem with the charging circuit inside of here. I think I'm going to have to open this up. Now, I've never actually opened one of these consoles up. So that'll be a tri-wing. So there's 4 of the same size, 2 little ones top and bottom. And the inside of the board doesn't look too bad. I think the first thing we could check is that this connector has continuity to the pins behind, and we could also see if we can give this connector a good clean. Might be okay. So it's the next day and I've had the board soaking in alcohol. Whilst I was doing that, I thought it would be a good idea to get some charge in this battery. I remembered I had a pink working console. I've used this to charge the battery up. We're going to put this together enough to test it. I'm going to put one screw in. This is moving about inside. But what is that? It's coming on and going off. Or a faulty component on the charging circuit. The console does turn on, but I've got no screen. So we're no further forward. In fact, it's actually gone a little bit worse. I'm just spraying some contact cleaner on that ribbon cable and see if I can get it pushed in a little bit further. I think that's in as best as it can go in. Now we'll put a picture. I'm going to try a game. I'm not hopeful, but we'll try it. No, it's rebooting. We need to find out where this little bit comes from. If these are filters, I think they should have continuity, which they do. I think this is another filter, EM8. So I've got continuity between these two pins and these two pins. I wonder if we can check them pins. 2 pins on the 4 pins on the top and 2 pins on the bottom. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins. Are any of these pins shorted? No. Oh, I'm at a bit of a loss. To rule out a problem with the screen, I'm taking apart this pink working one just to test the screen. There it is. That's where it comes from. So this is the faulty board with a good screen. So it powers on. There's no sound because I haven't put the speaker in. Powers on and it's the same. No display. It doesn't boot the game up. Charging light comes on and goes straight back off. So it's not the screen that's causing the problem. This is the screen, had some corrosion on the ribbon cable. This is the good board. We're going to put the good board in, make sure that screen works okay. So good board with potentially damaged screen because of the corrosion on the ribbon cable. So the screen has come on. And there you go. The screen on this blue one is working okay. So the problem must be the board. Now I noticed there was a definite click when the game loaded up. Bad board, good board. Okay, so this is where we're up to at the moment. We've got the damaged board. I've cleaned it with some white vinegar. And then I've cleaned the white vinegar off with some good old IPA. We have the Nintendo logo. And we have the game button. So that's the original board and the original screen. So all it took to get the game to load was a vinegar bath and a clean with some IPA. The IPA didn't work initially because I did that yesterday, but the vinegar bath this morning has definitely cleaned some corrosion off, which has allowed the game to boot. Now all I have to do is to test the charging circuit. I still have no charging light, but there's still a problem with the charging circuit. I think I've worked out what the problem is with this board. The power positive battery terminal comes out here, comes down to these two wires here, which are these two. Comes down to the fuse. The fuse is working. And then it comes down to these two wires here. And if you zoom and take a closer look on them two, a couple of badly corroded wires, which is in keeping with the liquid spill. But they come out right behind that plastic shielding for the game cartridge, like Vince has had to do. I'm going to have to take off this game cartridge reader and repair the wires underneath. Well, I've made a complete mess of that. Look at that. That's a lot of damage to clean up. Oh dear. That's how you don't take a cartridge reader off a Game Boy. I don't know where to start. These are the ones in question where I think there's no continuity. Sure, these are the two that Vince had trouble with. So then they come down to these two, which go to the diode on the other side of the board. So presumably this is caused by the water damage getting underneath the cartridge slot. Right, flux. Should have continuity from the battery terminal down to these two wires here. And I have, because those two come up here to the diode. That's positive on the battery terminal. And diode is just out of focus, but there, and that's it. That's a positive continual trace from the battery terminal to that diode. Now all I've got to do is repair this godforsaken mess. Gone, gone, loose, loose, gone, gone, loose. Dear me. Oh dear. And if we start pushing them down from the top, well, as I say, these are not instructional videos. Don't do what I do. I suppose I better take off the damaged pads. How am I going to get that in place? Here we go. That pad's alright. Close enough. That one's close enough. That one's going to need a repair. Right, how's that looking? So this one needs to come to here. This one's on. This one's not on. It's in a good spot though. That one still looks a little bit loose. Hard to say, but I think I've just got one more there. We'll give it a good clean up. We'll find out where we are. Okay, so we'll check for some continuity. So this one looks like it goes to here. Yep. This one comes up to here. Yep. 14. 15. Yes. 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 Just check for shorts between them. Right, that looks good. Well, just need to put a bit of solder on these last two. I'm going to put a lot on here because of the damage I've done. Well, I think that's ready for testing. Charger. We'll turn that off. Make sure it's off. Put the charger. Oh, charger's on. And I've got a little beautiful orange light staying on. Let's test the game. Nintendo, there's no speaker in yet. And the game's loaded up. Green light. Fantastic. Let's get some solder mask on there and give it a good test. There's the conformal coating or solder mask, just to secure those pins properly. So in my case, the console wasn't charging because D1 didn't have a connection to the positive on the battery contact. So D1 is connected to these two wires, which come up here on the other side of the board. They then travel along here and go up behind the game cartridge. They then come out back on the front side of the board and go up to fuse 2. They carry on going up to these two and then go on the back side of the board again to here and connect to the positive terminal on the battery. So I had, and Vince had, corrosion underneath the cover, which had broke that trace going from the positive on the battery terminal all the way through to D1. So that's what the problem was in my case. If you have the same problem, also check out the EM8 filter here, which is sometimes a cause for the Game Boy SP not charging. So this is it, all back together. We'll turn it on. You can see that the game is going to load up. No, it's not, because I haven't got a game in. There we go. There's the game. Marvellous. I never actually play any of these games or on the consoles. I just use them for testing, and that's about as much testing as I want to do. And we'll try, I'll just plug this in to show you that the charging light is working. There you go. Charging light on, staying on, console working. What a great result. And what a mess I made. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Bit of a longer one for me today. Give us a like and a subscribe. If you'd have done something different, let us know in the comment section. I'm always willing to listen to other people. And I hope to see you in the next one. So, thank you and good night.